Hey there guys, Jimmy from Glassy Gaming here, bringing you a brand new episode of Trade Talk, and by brand new, I mean this was done in 2012, but it sounds like shit because I recorded it like 3 years ago and I didn't have good shit then, so I'm remaking the video because it's very in demand, and the topic for today is one that I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, will love to listen to, and that is how to value and sell your unusuals. Now, let me get into this with this, statement. You can use backpack.tf. I'm not going to shame you for that. You have to realize, though, that backpack.tf is a very rough guide. Yes, they do use previous sales of hats. However, hat prices fluctuate, and oftentimes they value the hats on the lowest possible value, which means ultimately, it's just a constant downward spiral if you were to only use backpack.tf. The way that you really look for value on an unusual is a little bit different. You can still use backpack.tf as a very general price guide. However, there's some methods that work a lot better for distinguishing the actual value of a hat. So first off, what you want to do, let's say, you get offered a hat or a knife, because this works with knives as well. You get offered something and you don't know how to price it. What you do is you go on TF2 Outpost, or if you want to do CSGO Lounge for knives, CSGO Lounge, whatever, and you check the other trades of that hat or that knife. You check to see what offers they get, how frequent they offer are, like if they get a lot of offers in a span of a couple days, or if they've had the hat up for a month and they got no offers. What their buyouts are, if there's more on the market, what those buyouts are, what those offers are, you know what I mean? It's a lot of research to pinpoint the true value of a hat. Now, don't get me wrong, you shouldn't just look at a trade and go, okay, well this guy, he has a buyout of 500 keys. That means this hat is 500 keys. Nah, son, that doesn't work like that. He could value it at 500 keys himself, but let's say he's only getting offers around, 300 to 400 keys. That means that more than likely, his hat is really about 300 to 400 keys. He simply has a buyout of 500 keys because that's what he personally wants. Now, depending on how rare an unusual is, or how in demand an unusual is, that could go up or down. Let's say the hat that we're talking about, the guy wants 500 keys for it, he's getting a lot of 300 to 400 keys offers on it, and it's the only one on the market. None of the other ones are on the market, or maybe it's one of one in the world forever, and he wants 500 keys. Likely, he will not sell that until he gets an offer in the 450 to 500 key range, which means that the hat is around that in value. Now, as someone that wants to make profit, I probably wouldn't pay more than 350 to 400 for that hat and then try and sell it for 500 myself. But you have to look at it and try and figure out, is this hat hard to sell? Is this hat easy to sell? Does it get a lot of offers? Does it have a lot of interest? Do a lot of people want this hat or no? Because that's kind of a very big deal. Now, another thing that's really big when you're trying to buy an unusual or value an unusual is you got to figure out if you want the hat yourself. If you buy hats that you don't really like, you're going to want to sell them a lot faster. Because of this, you're not going to want to hang on to the hat. You're going to become really impatient with it, and you're ultimately going to lose profit in the long run. Every single time I've bought a hat that I liked, I wasn't too stressed on selling it, and then when it finally came time to sell it, or I got offered something really good, I'd make way more profit than I originally thought I would, because I wasn't expecting to make profit. I was expecting to keep the hat. So you got to kind of play into that. You have to play into the things that you like when you buy those hats. Now, when it comes to selling hats that you have, you want to make sure that you're valuing it as high as you can. I'm serious about this. Buy low, sell high is a thing, and it's very important in this economy. When it comes to selling hats, I try not to be impatient. I get the best values as long as I try to maintain a sense of patience and try not to quick sell my hats or take the first decent deal that comes my way. Because half the time, if you're really snappy on your decisions and you take a trade that's kind of good, a week later, the person that you sold that hat to will be offered something amazing, and then they'll get a huge amount of profit that you could have had yourself. So it's kind of a give and take there. You have to be patient when it comes to trading. Again, when it comes to valuing your own hats, use trading sites like TF2 Outpost or CSGO Lounge to figure out what your hats/knives are worth. Again, go on the buyouts, the offers, the previous sales of the hat. Look at what your current owner of the hat paid for it to get it. If he only paid 200 keys for that hat, and he's only getting offers in the 250 key range, but he wants 500 keys out of you, tell him to fuck himself, because he's obviously trying to gouge the shit out of you. Now, if he were to lower his price to, say, 300 keys in unusuals, and that was a hat that you really wanted, then sure, I can understand paying that. Another thing you gotta realize is, sometimes you kind of have to overpay for hats you want. So, I understand profit is important, but if you really, really want a hat, and if there's like no other ones on the market, or like there's only one on the market, you're probably gonna have to overpay, and that's just kind of how it works. And there's no shame in that. There really isn't. Just, pay what is fair for the hat. And I can assure you, when it comes time to try and trade that hat away, you'll be offered something even better. Trust me on that. So, I hope this was somewhat helpful to you. Again, backpack.tf is a decent site for a rough guide on pricing, but it's not the end-all be-all, and you should put a lot more effort into valuing hats than just checking the backpack.tf price. Okay? Okay. Thank you for listening and watching as always. Hope I helped you out. GG. Peace the fuck out.